everybody, Jen Guile, your mortgage partner for life, and I am here with one of our great real estate partners and friends, Mr. David Barraza. Hello, David.
How's it going, Jen?
Good, how are you?
Doing well.
Good. I'm going to talk to David about a variety of things today, and we're excited to have him because he's pretty new to the industry. He's been in it a few years, but he's also had amazing success. So I think he'll have great advice for both brand new people and also seasoned people. So welcome, David, and will you tell us a little bit about how long you've been in real estate and how you got to real estate?
Thank you so much, Jen. I appreciate that. I have been in real estate for a little over 4 years, like 4.5 years or so. Got into real estate after attempting to play semi-pro soccer. Didn't have a real path lined out and knew I wanted to do sales. Always had been in kind of the housing arena, and so I decided to get my license.
Your dad's a contractor,
My dad's
right?
a contractor, yep. And so I was like, oh, that would be cool. And so I joined. And
Sounds easy.
Took the leap, yeah. Took the leap, and here we are.
Okay. So just over 4 years, and what would you say has been some of the best decisions you made to grow? Well, actually, let me backtrack. So how many transactions did you do last year?
37.
Okay. And what's your goal for this year, do you know?
50.
Okay, so a significant increase. That's a great solid number. What would you say has helped you get to that level as quickly as you have?
The number one thing is I'm never afraid to ask for help or to obtain mentorship. I think a lot of people see this industry as like more of a self-employed, like do-it-yourself type of job, and I was just never there myself. I wasn't, David's show from the get-go. And so I was not afraid to just learn from people that I felt knew what they were doing. Yeah. And that has catapulted me, just learning through them a lot quicker than maybe I would have on my own.
So finding the right mentors is important. I remember actually us sitting in a conference room like this probably 2.5 years ago where you said the exact same thing to me. You said that you appreciated time that I was giving you and advice, and have often come to me and asked advice. So
always will.
Yeah, well, good. Yay, I'm relevant for somebody. Okay, so mentorship important. What else? Anything else that you consistently do that has helped you create that level of business?
For me, I think it would be client care.
Okay.
I'm
pretty
good at kind of going the extra mile and taking care of people, making sure people feel important, and no matter how busy I am, I'll always stretch myself to make sure that things get done correctly and people always feel important.
Okay, so give me some examples of when you've gone above and beyond, maybe.
Actually, one recent that actually and it wasn't even a client of mine. So, but this is an example.
Right?
It's an example of just things that I'm kind of just willing to do to get things done. That client that did not have a car and did not speak English, and we had to go to middle of Wyandotte County to have her sign like one piece of paper.
Right. Totally forgot about that.
Yeah. Things like that. No matter how busy I am, it's like, okay, gotta go get this done. Or people, I'll go scan documents for them at the public library if they don't have like a computer. Like, no matter how busy I am, I'm always doing things to make people's lives easier, or try to.
Right. So since you kind of brought me around to this, let's talk about that, because a fairly large part of your business are Hispanic buyers, right? David speaks fluent Spanish, thank goodness, and the instance he was referencing was one of my clients spoke Spanish. This is before I had the amazing Elisa, who speaks Spanish on our team, and we needed to document urgently, or these clients were not going to close on time. And they could not communicate well with me, because my Spanish is not great. Slang Spanish, inappropriate Spanish, not loan Spanish.
Right.
And David drove the document to them, got it filled out for us the same day, brought it back, and the client was able to close on the house. So that's a perfect example. But so talk about that, because Hispanic borrowers, are again a big piece of your business. Why do you serve that community? Why is that important to you?
I did not begin my career serving the Hispanic market, actually.
We didn't go in wanting it to be a niche necessarily.
Correct. When I got in the business, I initially got quite a bit of Hispanic referrals, and it was very difficult being a new agent and not knowing how to navigate some of the situations that culturally or as a community the Hispanic community faces. It became very difficult for me. So when I met my mentors, they were giving me like a warm lead to John Smith, who had a job at like, some 9 to 5, and
Right.
everything was just perfect
Not
and easy
self-employed,
transaction.
right.
Yep. And so I was like, okay, well, this is way easier than that, and I never really sought it out. However, as a part of, I think, what I offer as client care values to people, a value proposition, the Hispanic community started seeing that, and that it was higher than maybe, other experiences that they have had, and so they started referring me at a very high level,
Right.
especially my investor clients who saw, okay, this guy's not just out there to make a quick buck, he knows
Right.
his numbers, he won't just push me into something that
Bad
he thinks is a
decision,
rental and is a bad decision, or he thinks is a flip and is a bad decision.
Okay.
And so that just started generating, even just normal retail business for people buying personal homes and things like that. And now it's elevated to the point where I have a lot of investors at high levels, apartment complexes and big commercial things going on with the Hispanic community. So
Okay.
I really appreciate that loyalty.
It's a very loyal group,
Mhm.
right? And you mentioned a couple things. There are challenges, and a lot of times they don't have bank accounts, sometimes they don't have social security numbers, sometimes the job is not always verifiable in an easy way anyway. So going above and beyond is great. Obviously, that's a culture that you care about because of your background, right? Often they don't have as good a treatment because it is harder, and sometimes people just are not willing to go the extra mile. So I think that's an important part of your business, and you touched on it. As soon as you're willing to spend a little bit more time and offer more care, they become huge advocates for you.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Yep.
Okay. What about if you were to talk to your first year real estate David and give him advice? What advice would you give him?
Oof. Now being 4 years and change in, I would definitely nail on the fact that it's important to get in early and
Like in the
make
morning?
sure in the morning
Okay.
and make sure that you get certain activities done before your day starts getting busy and gets out of your
So
control.
what activities?
Like following up with past clients and just making sure they're still doing okay.
So
making
check-ins,
sure,
okay.
Check-ins.
What about if you don't have any past clients? Who are you calling?
Just your sphere of influence, people
Okay.
that you know that already kind of love and care about you and know that you're in the business, that
Okay.
might send you a referral when given the opportunity,
Okay.
because that's something that I did not learn as a habit early
Yeah.
on, and
None of us do.
yeah, and later when you're already busy, it's
Yeah.
harder to
It's harder.
implement that as a habit.
Because as
So-
soon as you open your email, there's 75 emails.
Correct.
As soon as you get started later in the day, all the things, the 911 fires come in,
Mhm.
the inspection reports back, and now we have to review it. Oh, this resolution came in, and now we have to review it.
Yep,
And then you never actually make the phone calls.
exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
So you're making calls. I know you're a texter, so you're sending texts. What else are you doing?
Calls, emails, texts are huge. I mean, I think especially a lot of my buyers are first-time home buyers, and we'll text pretty much everything.
Yeah.
They'll screenshot houses, and I have a couple right now that like puts the little like and heart emojis as
Got it.
reactions to text instead of even replying to the
Right.
text. So it's changing a little bit.
Yeah,
and,
it is.
I dig it.
You have to be able to communicate with people the way they want to be communicated with.
Correct.
So I will have people who want to talk on the phone. I will have people who want to meet in person. I have some clients who want to text the whole transaction. Sometimes that's harder because there's a lot of paper and details, but that's a good point. You have to communicate with them the way they want to be communicated with.
Correct.
Anything you would tell first year David to do differently?
Well,
So get in early.
get in early and
Get on the
do
phone.
get on the phone. Establish some kind of system for keeping track of different things, like transactions or people's birthdays are important. And now I'm on a team on Long Real Estate, Go Long Real Estate. And so those systems are kind of in place for me.
Yeah, you've
they're
got
almost,
great people to help you.
uh-huh,
But for people who don't,
For
they
people
need to
who
get
don't.
a CRM or a database.
or
some sort of
even just
follow-up
an
system.
Excel spreadsheet
Excel
that you
spreadsheet.
can check.
Free.
Yeah, it's totally free. Just to make sure that you're continuing to make people feel important even after you've already
Exactly.
collected a check from their sale.
Okay.
So,
What about, would you share a little bit about what your why is?
my why has developed over the years, and lately has become larger. So my dad's a contractor, he's in construction, still works, super hard every day, wakes up super early, goes to sleep super
Doing
late.
manual labor.
Manual labor,
Yeah, hard.
building decks and basements and all that stuff. And he's 60 now, and my mom has a housekeeping company. Also, is in the nitty gritty of it
Yeah,
all,
yeah.
still doing the manual labor portion, they're not just managing it. And I look at them and I see a lot of the hardships to help me become the person that I am, and that I want to continue developing into. And also just the fact that, they still struggle. So my personal goal is to hopefully one day help them not struggle, hopefully even as far as like retiring them. But if not that, at least be able to provide a helping hand just whenever necessary.
Making it easier.
Yeah, correct. So that's one, and then also my siblings, helping get them through school and
'Cause
things
they're all
like
younger,
that. They're
right?
all younger,
Okay.
yep. My sister's 22 and
Okay.
my brother's 16, so way younger.
Yeah.
But just helping them get through school and making sure, I set an example that it's not easy to be successful.
Yeah.
There's a lot of competition no
Work.
matter what you do, and yeah, you have to put your head down and work and just continue growing. So.
That's a great why. And I know you've been in the Peak Producers class multiple times.
Mhm.
And remember the episode where Brian Buffini was talking about retiring his dad off the ladder?
Yep.
I've heard that story no less than 20 times. Every time I hear it, I cry.
Mhm.
So it is a great why. It's part of my why. Hopefully we'll be able to do that. My dad's a little older than your parents, but it's a great reason. And it makes it easier if you have something that powerful, forcing you to get up early and forcing you to do all those things that are hard to do, because sometimes it's hard to pick up the phone.
Mhm.
Sometimes we're not in the right mindset. So let's talk about that real quick. Mindset. Do you struggle with it? Are there days where you just don't want to do it? Are there days that are hard because this job's hard and not everyone is always nice or grateful for all those extras that you're doing? So how do you work through that?
Every day can be difficult.
Every day's
Every
different.
day can be a challenge. And certainly there are days, after a really long week, especially I think realtor hours,
Yeah.
quote unquote realtor hours are a thing. So
All the time, yeah.
right, you might go to bed really, really late working one day and have
And
to
have
be
a
up
text at 6
super
a.m.,
early,
yeah.
yep, and have to get after it, showing houses and
Yeah.
just nonstop all weekend. And so it does become difficult, but I think for us and the way we do business, a lot of what makes it worth it is not only the why, but also the fact that our clients really just make it easy. So we work by referral, and I try to, it's the best way, try to work by referral myself as much as I can, and it makes it so that every client comes in with a really, really warm
Yeah.
feeling about you.
They trust you
And,
already.
yep, they
Yeah.
trust you, their expectations, I don't wanna say are lower, but their trust makes it so their expectations are realistic.
It's easier to connect with them quicker
Mhm.
because you have someone in common. That person's put their name to you, and they do immediately have a level of trust. And a lot of times they're not treating you as a commodity, or
Correct,
they're coming in, hey, I found 5 people on the internet, and I'm gonna call all of you and who's ever the cheapest.
correct.
Yeah.
And so that makes it worth it, you're able to connect with people at a higher level, I believe.
Yeah.
And so that it does push you to, okay, I have to help them find a house, or I have to make sure
I don't
this
wanna
gets
let this
sold
person down
correctly.
too,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't wanna let
It's
them
2
down.
people
at
you're
all.
not letting down.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
So it makes it a little easier. And then, there are really, really fun parts about real estate too. Like a lot of our service providers, like Jen Guile, super fun to hang out with and spend time with, or being in the office. I love being in the office.
Yeah.
In our busy seasons, we're just in and
Energy,
out. But
yeah.
that energy and that just constant movement, I love that.
Yeah.
I can't sit still.
Yes,
So.
we know that about you. That's a good thing though. You need a lot of energy to survive in this business for a long time.
Mhm.
I'm not quite as young as you are, but I do still have a high level of energy. And it's the only thing that would allow me to do this for as long as I have.
Correct.
So, okay, what do you like to do for fun?
Love working out, playing soccer. I played a lot of soccer, try to play every chance that I get. I have a team that's still pretty good, and sometimes we take it too seriously, but
It's alright, you're competitive.
it's super fun, and it actually allows me to stay in touch with a lot of my friends from
It's networking. And
younger days, and I've gotten a lot of referrals
younger
through
days, he's
that.
like 21 years old.
I've gotten a lot of referrals through that, so, and, just helps take your mind off things too.
Yeah, because you have to have something other than just your job.
Mhm.
It'd be really easy to do this all the time with no break.
Yep, so I love that, especially soccer, huge passion, first love.
First love.
My
Ooh,
first
love. Okay, maybe, let's see, one or two more things. Are you a reader?
I do read, yep,
Okay.
lately I've been listening to a lot more podcasts,
So
but
favorite podcast?
favorite podcast, oof. So there's one that I was recommended to
Okay.
by Tony Long, The Buffini Show.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I really love The Buffini Show.
Yep.
He
He interviews lots of successful people. It's not just him talking. And
Mhm.
yes, there's some unbelievable people on there, from athletes to business owners to musicians. It's the gamut. Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, that's one of my favorites. Obviously, you know that. But
Yep, I also love The Greatest Salesman in the World. I've listened to
Ogmandino.
it probably, Ogmandino 10 times, maybe, and I've read the book once.
Yep. He's got a lot of books, you know.
Mhm.
I'll get you another one.
Yep, so that's one of my favorite, just because of the entire story. So I come from a Christian background, and the story, the narrator, I think in the audiobook does a phenomenal job at just helping you imagine what's going on, helping you see everything, and there's a lot of little lessons in there. So
Parable
Parables.
books. So you're teaching a story with a message, or you're teaching a message through a story, essentially. Yep. Have you read The Go-Giver?
I haven't, no.
Best book I've ever read. That's another one of those. And The Noticer, who is by my favorite author, Andy Andrews, who I'm slightly obsessed with. But that's another one.
Okay.
I'll get you one of those.
I'll have to check them out.
Anything else you want to share about why you're special, why you're different? We love you. We appreciate you. You're very easy to work with. All of your clients come to us with a high level of trust. And I'm so excited now that we have the Elisa component so that we can work with more of your Spanish-speaking buyers, because my family were immigrants originally and came over with nothing, and eventually were able to build a life here and buy a house. And a big part of why my family was able to get out of poverty, and why I am now in a much different situation, my kids will be in a totally different situation, is because they could buy a house. I think that's a huge piece to creating wealth and changing your stars, essentially.
Correct.
So,
Correct. Yeah, I think that's about it, about me. Maybe one of the other things that makes me special, whatever, cool, is I think I'm pretty good at just kind of staying composed all
You
the
are.
time, which in this
I really
business.
never seen you lose your, you know what?
No.
Yeah,
I don't know. I've worked on that for a long time,
yeah.
before real estate even, and it helps a ton in this business
Oh, yeah,
to
'cause
just
it's
always.
It's very difficult to not take on other people's emotions. You
Uh,
have the clients, you have the co-op agents, you have the lenders, you have the title people, appraisers, inspectors. There's so many people involved. It would be very easy to take on some of their drama and let it impact you. Yeah, that's one of the things I've had to work on. I'm not going to say the quote the right way, but if you control the calm inside you, you can do anything.
Yeah.
And really, it's that part. It's the allowing yourself to become unglued. It's your mental. It's how you think that impacts everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep,
So you are
correct.
very calm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I try.
That's good. I'm gonna work on maybe trying to ruffle your feathers just for fun sometimes.
Sounds good.
I just do.
Sounds good.
Well, thank you, David. We're very grateful to have David. He is amazing. We'll put his contact information in the video so you know how to get a hold of him. And thanks for being here.
Thank you so much, Jen.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.